Good afternoon and welcome to the third annual CoJMC Lincoln Area High School's Basketball Media Days, sponsored by Pepsi Cola of Lincoln. I'm Emily Robinson. Thank you for joining us via our live stream on the Nebraska News Service YouTube page. And thank you to our veterans for serving on this Veterans Day. For those of you in the audience, please raise your hand if you have a question, and our mic runners will get the microphone to you. Up next, we have Lincoln Christian. If you can introduce yourselves, then we can go to questions.
Junior, forward.
Jessa Heesier, point guard, senior.
Macy Pittenger, senior guard.
Trey Pittenger, coach.
Okay. After how last season ended, what is your guys' drive for this season, and what are your guys' goals as a team and as a new head coach?
Go ahead.
Okay. As a team, I would definitely say it's going to be pretty hard to beat what happened last year. Going undefeated, it's a very hard thing to happen again. So obviously we don't have any expectations coming into this next season. But everybody is going to have a different role, and I think we're all just going to embrace that, and we'll see what happens. Yeah.
And I also think we still have the same drive to still succeed and get the third state championship. So just we know the feeling of winning, and we want that again. So we're going to work hard to get it.
Yeah, I mean, as a coach, I want to build upon what Scott Klein did the last 3 years. He did a great job. My career record as a high school coach is 0-0, so I'm learning. But I've got some great athletes sitting next to me here. We've got a storied program, and I really just want to continue to build upon that and bring some new energy.
So this one's for you, Coach. I know you just said you want to continue upon what the last coach did and continue that success. So how do you do that? What are your keys to that? And I mean, what all goes into that?
Yeah, good question. So I mean, we lost two stud seniors, right? In Ken Ailes and Maddie Castlebaum, all staters, key cogs to back-to-back state championships. Like Macy hit upon, though, and maybe it was Jessa, we're going to be built a little bit differently this year. So just understanding what our strengths are as individual players. They're very talented, they're very athletic, and so just not pigeonholing them into a certain spot, but just understanding and evolving kind of with each other. So I'll come in, very prepared with practice plans, and be organized and have defense as kind of the key focus. We'll scout our opponents and we'll kind of learn together. So we know that we're going to get everybody's best shot, right? I mean, we're no longer the hunters, we're the measuring stick back to back, and so we got to be ready to prove ourselves day in and day out, and that starts with practice number 1, which is next Monday.
How do you play freely knowing that you have a 46-game win streak behind you?
I think for us, it's not really focusing on the losses we get, but we scheduled harder teams this year so we can continue to get better and realize that the losses don't matter until you really get to the state championship. So just keep building on the wins, which obviously a loss is going to feel different this year after not losing last year. But just come in with a positive mindset and knowing if we get a loss, we can just work harder and get another win the next week.
Yeah, I'd definitely just say taking each game as it comes to us.
Yeah. If we do get a loss, not letting that break us because we're not as used to it, and learning from that, and then also just having fun with every game that we have and not making it so serious and not letting that pressure kind of break us, I guess.
Yeah, and going off of what my dad said, we we're going to come prepared for every single game. We're not going to expect to have the amazing season that we had last year. Obviously, that'd be great. It's pretty comforting knowing that, we haven't lost a game in a while, but we're going to come prepared for every single game and not expect anything. And
Yeah, I think back to 2 seasons ago. I was a dad in the stands, but when we lost to Grand Island Central Catholic and Sydney, those were actually, I saw the team, they really learned from those experiences, and I think that was, you girls might echo that, it was a key reason for their ultimate victory in the state tournament. So just understanding that adversity is part of growth and embracing that and acknowledging it. Now, our goal would be to not lose any, but like I said, when or if we do, we'll roll with it.
You guys lost 49% of your scoring from a year ago, and obviously you being a first-year head coach as well, what are the biggest challenges that you've had to go through this summer, throughout the entire offseason, and turning into your first week of practice on Monday?
Yeah, great question. So again, I was a dad in the stands this summer watching them in summer league, and candidly, I don't think anybody quite knew what to expect with losing half of our offensive production. But what I saw this summer was that these 3 are highly capable of taking on some of that production. We also have my other daughter, Lexi, and then Liv Drivo, who were the first 2 off the bench last year. So really, we bring back 5 of our top 7 from last year. And I think, and I know, once given the opportunity, they'll rise to the occasion. So it's just understanding how to play perhaps a little bit more differently and a little bit more aggressively, and I think you 3 are ready for that, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think last year for sure we didn't necessarily have to be super aggressive, and we all had our own role, and I think that's why part of why we were so successful is because we all knew how to play how we knew we should to execute. And yeah, this year us 3 are definitely going to have, somebody's going to have to score, but that might mean that the scoring's more diverse and not so much centered around solely just Maddie and Kenna. So I think overall it'll be a pretty positive thing because everyone's going to learn to contribute. Everyone's going to have to be prepared for every single game, and we're not just going to have to rely on 2 players. Everybody's going to have to do their job, and everyone's going to have to show up and be ready to do whatever they have to do to get us a win.
And I think a positive thing for our team is if one of us is off on a shooting day, we know that the other 4 on the floor can score. So I think last year we had 2 very scorers who scored all the time. So it was good if one of us was off, we could always depend on it, just toss it down in the paint. So it's obviously going to be different this year. We're going to have to definitely use everyone, and I think that helps having a deep bench because we know anyone on the team can score when we need them to.
Yeah, that's a good point. We haven't mentioned some of our newcomers or new developing players. We've got additional sophomores that have been part of the program that are strong, and we've got 10 freshmen, which for a C1 school, that's half of our team. And there's a lot of athleticism, a lot of skill within that group. So from a practice standpoint, iron sharpens iron. I think we're going to get better each practice, and that's really going to help us. And then hopefully some of those players will be able to step up and contribute.
What are you guys most excited for this upcoming season?
I think all of us get to play with our best friends, which is probably the best part. Is it's super fun to win and score and have a winning record, but really the reason that we have that is because the people that we get to play with. At practice, we put in fun drills, we always do team bonding, and I think just the best is getting to play with your best friends.
Yeah, we try to make things not as serious as they are. Just still having fun in the situations. We always try to have a dance party before games, or just listening to music in the vans together and just not getting too stressed about it and just still having fun together.
Yeah. It's our last season with all these girls, and we are best friends on and off the court, which again, that contributes to the chemistry that we have on the court. But it is genuinely so fun to just show up at practice with all of these girls. And, van rides are fun, and we'll have some tournaments or some games where we're traveling, like we're going down to Missouri. That'll be fun. So, yeah, I'm just looking forward to a last season with my best friends. Microphone. Shut up.
You talked about how, like your other daughters and even all the incoming freshmen, and as like a first-year coach, how do you like prepare them to fill in like a really like big seat of like this winning team and everything?
I don't totally know the answer to that, other than what I do know is leadership. My day job, I run a company, and so I hope to bring some of those skills to this team. I want to build a culture where these girls grow in their confidence, right? They understand that they can make mistakes. Part of making mistakes is growth comes with that. And so, I know the talent is there for this team to do great things. And so it's a function of, like I said, creating a framework for them to be able to flourish and utilize those skills. And, understand that there's a lot of talent. Not everybody is maybe going to see as much time as they might want, but to be a star in the role that they're in, but to keep working for the role that they want to be in. And so I think that clear communication and setting that framework hopefully will build upon itself. And like I said earlier, they'll come to practice each day ready to go, ready to compete in a healthy manner, and that'll propel us to good things.
Who or what inspires you to be the best players and coaches you guys can be?
I think ultimately, like, playing for the glory of God, like, knowing that whatever we do out there, wins or losses, he's going to be proud of us, and he would rather us have fun and, like, be honoring to the other team and the refs and to our coaches than, like, getting a win or winning by a ton of points.
Anything else to add there? No. Yeah, I want to piggyback on that. I mean, we spent a lot of time thinking through biblical integration into practices and into games. We lean heavily on FCA and a lot of their framework, and so that is a core tenet to how we want to coach these girls, speaking love and truth, and ultimately giving the glory to God. And so that's real big for this team, and I think it's been a big reason for the success that they've seen over the last 2 years, and hopefully the success we'll see this year.
All right, thank you for your time and for joining us today. Next, we'll be joined by Crete.
All right, thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Good afternoon and welcome to the third annual Co-JMC Lincoln Area High Schools Basketball Media Days, sponsored by Pepsi Cola of Lincoln. I'm Emily Robinson. Thank you for joining us via our live stream on the Nebraska News Service YouTube page. And thank you to our veterans for serving on this Veterans Day. For those of you in the audience, please raise your hand if you have a question, and our mic runners will get the microphone to you. Up next, we have Crete High School. If you can introduce yourselves, then we'll get started.
My name is Britt Ehlers.
My name is Isabel Linares.
And I'm Camry Drager.
We'll get started with questions.
You finished the season 12-12 last year. What have you done this offseason to try and improve on that record and become a above 500 team?
Absolutely. We did have a good finish to the season. The second half, we got a lot of momentum through some of the systems that we were running and things like that. And so this summer we really focused on building depth and helping to improve the pace at which we play. We think that when we're aggressive and we play at a more intense, aggressive pace, that we're a lot tougher to play against. And so those were really our two focuses, is to develop more kids who can play at that pace.
What parts of your game do you think you work on the most with the team?
That's interesting. I would dare to say that the two parts of our game that we work on the most, especially this last year, has been shooting. We need to become a better shooting team. We like to shoot it. And we're going to shoot it a lot. We're going to shoot a lot of threes. And so we just need to get better in that regard. The second aspect is, quite honestly, just our overall aggressiveness. We want to catch the ball. We're a team that offensively, we don't want to hold the ball and let the defense get set. We want the ball to move quickly, and when we catch the ball, we want to quickly read whether we have a shot or we can attack or we need to keep it moving. And so that aggressiveness with the ball, together with our shooting, are probably the two areas that over the course of the last year we've worked on the most.
Since your freshman year or the beginning of your basketball career, what is the one single most important thing that you guys have worked on, or that you've seen progress from, progress or growth from when you first started?
Yeah, when I was a freshman, we had, and even my sophomore year, we had a pretty solid senior class, and seeing them become leaders inspired me to become a leader myself. And so I think that's one aspect I've really grown in, is just being a leader and being someone that the younger girls look up to.
I gotta say the same thing as Cam, just taking that step into leadership, especially as a senior this year. And there's younger girls on our team, just gotta step into being a leader and building that connection with our team and that chemistry.
To play that sort of fast tempo style offense that you want to play, and how do you see the leaders on your team, such as these two, kind of help out your younger players in working towards that style of play that you want to implement?
Yeah, that's a great question, because we do a lot of different things, and we've tried a lot of different things. Right now we're training quarter milers, to be quite honest, in conditioning, and so we're doing a lot of running of 300s and 100-yard sprints. Today, actually, the group is running 100-yard sprints. These two get out of it today, which is awesome for them. But overall, I think the way that for them to develop as leaders, right, is how they carry themselves matters. And everyone else is looking towards them. And so as they're doing that, if they can do it with a positive attitude and a toughness, and to see that they are controlling their response to that rather than just letting fatigue and their emotion take over. That has a huge impact, because when someone that you look up to models the way of how it's supposed to be done, it's much more natural for our younger players to just kind of follow in those footsteps and do that. So if they're going to lead in a way that is like, oh, this is horrible, worst day ever, really dramatic, then we're probably going to get that same response from our younger players. If they take an attitude of, this is something we're doing to get better, this is an opportunity for us, we know that this will help us down the road, then our younger players are going to follow that way too.
Skill development with the team strategy during practices to see it through games?
Yeah. We spend a lot of time on individual skill development, even throughout the season. And so everything that we do, but we try to do that in intentional ways. And so we try to do really what's called more of a constraints-based approach, in that we're playing games and we're doing those types of things, but we're limiting certain things that our players can do in order to focus on a particular skill or something like that, right? And so we might say that we're playing 3-on-3, but the only way you can score is if you set a ball screen and score off of the ball screen along those ways. And so every time, even though there are a lot of variable aspects, we're still focusing on a particular skill that happens as we do that, as opposed to just kind of rote memorization in skill development.
You mentioned ending the season very strong last season. How do you turn that into a full season of, finishing games strong and playing strong from the very beginning?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is belief. Kind of almost the Ted Lasso type deal, and while that's kind of trite and so forth, it really is something. We talk all the time, and I can't express it enough. These girls, both Izzy and Cam, but all the girls on our team, like, they have so much more in them than they will ever realize. They have been created with unbelievable gifts, and it's a matter of getting them to believe that so that they go. The second piece is to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And so how do you get into that space more quickly and accept it and know that you're growing and developing as a part of that? And if you can change your mindset on that so that you look forward to being uncomfortable, then I think you've got a chance to really go. And so that's what I think we did a lot of learning last year in those regards, and I think we're better positioned to take that right from the start now going forward this year.
Upcoming season?
Just being able to control the controllables. Not everything's going to go our way, but our response, we can always control that. And just staying attached to our values, which just being intentional and being a good role model to our younger players and setting that example.
My biggest goal is to, again, be a leader on the team, but also to just create an environment that's fun. Like, basketball is supposed to be fun. Like, playing games is fun. Like, I want to be able to not have a bunch of pressure on ourselves and just have fun this season.
I'd say two things from my standpoint. One, from a programmatic standpoint, we want every kid who's a part of our program to have a life-changing experience as a result of being a part of Crete basketball. And we want their lives to look different as a result of that. So that's goal number one. Second goal, from a team and a competition standpoint, we want the other team to be glad the game is over when it's done. Whether they pummel us and we just won't stop, or we're hammering somebody, or it's this incredibly close game, we want the other team to be like, thank goodness we're done with them, because we are relentless and we don't stop and we just continue to go and go and go.
We'll do one more question.
Alrighty, who would you say brings the most energy to the floor out of all your players?
You guys want to? You guys answer that.
Most energy. I don't know. I feel like it's a collective group. Like last year, towards the end of the season, our teammates on the bench started just cheering, and I think that brought a lot of energy and just. I don't know. I wouldn't say there's one person. I think it's a collective group thing.
Yeah, I agree with Cam. It's one person starts going off, and then it's the whole team. Like everything we do it as a team, and we're always hyping each other up, whether it's on the court or it's in the locker rooms. That's just how Crete basketball is. Always hyping each other up and picking each other up when we get knocked out.
It really is infectious. And so one of our values as a program is to be the spark.
Yeah.
And we don't care who it is, but like that spark is something then that something bigger can catch off of it. And we really do believe that that's something we've got to be in everything that we do. And so I don't know who it's going to be quite honest, but when somebody goes, then it becomes contagious and everybody goes.
All right, thank you for your time in joining us today. Next, we'll be joined by York High School. Good afternoon and welcome to our third annual CoJMC Lincoln Area High Schools Basketball Media Days, sponsored by Pepsi Cola of Lincoln. I'm Emily Robinson. Thank you for joining our live stream on the Nebraska News Service YouTube page. And thank you to our veterans for serving on this Veterans Day. For those of you in the audience, please raise your hand if you have a question and our mic runners will get you the microphone. Up next, we have York High School. If you can introduce yourselves, then the coach can go ahead and make an opening statement.
Go ahead.
Okay. I'm Kinsley Kern.
I'm Addison Anderson.
I'm Caitlin Krausnick.
And I'm Matt Fike, the head coach. Again, just echo what was said. First of all, thanks to our veterans and everything that's gone into the sacrifices they made to let us have opportunities like this. It's always an exciting time of year. It's always a time of year I really look forward to when we get to come back together in the gym. We kind of see each other around at school and on campus, but most of our girls have all been doing other things this fall, whether it be volleyball or softball, and so it's a pretty cool time just to see everybody come back together and see that energy fill the room again. And these young women bring a lot of energy. They're a lot of fun to be around, so we're ready to get going.
You guys just came off of a really good season, 23-4, but you lost two big seniors. What are the mindsets of you guys as players and you as a coach going into the next season, knowing you have those two roles to fill?
Well, we actually graduated 4 seniors last year, and obviously we had 2 that were, pretty dominant in the stat page, but we had 2 seniors that did a lot of things for us that don't show up in print. And so, the biggest thing will be having people that want to step up and get into these other roles and basically just, continue what we've been. York basketball has been a great program long before I ever even lived in Nebraska. So, we're very intent on doing our part to keep that going. And these young women are committed to making that happen as well.
I think obviously our 4 seniors last year were really important to us, but and we have some big shoes to fill that they had. So I think all of us are ready to take in that next role and be able to step in and fill those spots.
I think we know that by losing them, we definitely know the roles that need to be filled, but we also do a great job of reminding each other that we're there to play for each other and that we are our own people, and so that we don't have to necessarily be the same as those 4 seniors were, but just do the best that we can to support our team and that everyone has our back.
Yeah, I completely agree with Addie on that. We are definitely our own team and our own people and players, and we all have our own playing styles and everything. So I feel like what we lost was definitely important, but it's not necessarily something that needs to be replicated.
Hi guys. My question for you guys is how important is the community support around you guys in York?
Our community is really special to us. They support us a lot, whether it be in the season or even outside of basketball season. We have a great community in York that they just show up for us. Our gym is full for every single home game, and same with like our youth kids. They are always a part of all the camps we run and all those types of things, and they come to our games and they cheer us on just as much as our parents do. So our community support is really special to us, and we're very thankful for that.
Yeah, along with that, definitely we'd have so much involvement with the younger generations of York basketball, and that's my absolute favorite because just knowing that we're such role models to them is so important, and really just kind of reminds us that there's other people looking up at us and keeping that with us, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I would just tie into that too, that great communities and great schools and great parent support and great school administrators, and all those things have to align with each other for a school and a community and a program to be successful. And we're really blessed to be in a community where all that is aligned, and people want what's best, not just for the girls basketball team, but for everybody. So I'm very thankful to live in York.
So how has this team built chemistry and grown closer during the off season?
I think we build it by every summer we go on a basketball trip somewhere. Like this past year we went to Oklahoma, and we went whitewater rafting. We went whitewater rafting and did a whole bunch of activities, and we all stay in a house together, and I think that really helps us during our summer. It gets a break at the end of your summer ball time, but I think that always pushes us together more in the summer.
I don't think it's always the actual on the court team bonding that we need. I think it's off the court, the fun trips we take and the other after school activities that we do that really helps us come together.
I'll say this about our team trip every summer. We don't even play basketball on that trip. We don't even talk about basketball on that trip. We just try and go have a good time and just be together. And the coaches, the fun thing for the coaches is watching these girls all be together, and just the happy chaos that usually takes place as a result of everybody being in the same room. But it's a great time.
Hey guys, it's about a year and a half ago you guys saw your old coach step down. 18 years, saw a lot of success in York basketball during that time, and then in your first year last year, just a very successful season. So what are some of the values and the things that you want to do that you've instilled in this program that have led you to be so successful just right out of the gate?
Well, I told everybody who would listen last year that I inherited a great program from Matt Kern, and the culture and the expectations and all those things were in place and had been in place for a long time. And so, when I moved to Nebraska in 2017, I was one of Coach Kern's assistants for several years, but I never moved here with the intention of being the head coach at York High School. I just didn't, wasn't the expectation. I was very content with what we were doing. But yeah, last year there was a lot of things that were in place. And then, I kind of put my own wrinkles on a few things because there's some things that I think are kind of unique to me as a coach. But at the end of the day, the success that we have as a program and those expectations come from years and years of people pouring into the program and being committed to the program being successful. So, we're just the next caretakers of it. And these girls are setting that example for the young ones that are coming up. And, that's the cool thing about a community like York. You can see all this connecting to each other years in advance.
For you guys shifting in between coaches and doing all of that kind of thing, how did you, feel like you were able to go about that transition? And then since you've had your coach now for last year and coming into this year as well, have you felt that get a lot easier for you guys?
Yeah, I think it was honestly a pretty easy transition just because we all had known Coach Fike for however many years that he was an assistant. So we all knew what we were getting with him, and we, I think, adapted to it really well. Obviously, it's hard anytime you have a new coach, just adjusting to the coaching style or whatever may be different. But I think we adjusted fairly quickly, and we were able to be successful even coming off of having a new coach 1 year in.
Question for you, Coach. What are your top 2 biggest goals for this year?
Well, I can tell you that every goal we have is tied to one overriding goal, and some people may think this doesn't sound a whole lot like basketball, but our job is to raise up young women who will become confident, strong women that are difference makers in the world and feel like that they can control the outcome of their lives. That's what we're doing. And basketball is a part of that. But man, does the world need strong women leaders like never before? You know, this is the job. That's the mission. And so, yeah, that's kind of connected to basketball, but it's way more important.
All right. Thank you for your time and for joining us today. Next, we'll be joined by Seward High School. Good afternoon and welcome to the 3rd annual CoJMC Lincoln Area High Schools Basketball Media Days, sponsored by Pepsi Cola of Lincoln. I'm Emily Robinson. Thank you for joining us via our live stream on the Nebraska News Service YouTube page, and thank you to our veterans for serving on this Veterans Day. For those of you in the audience, please raise your hand if you have a question, and our mic runners will get the microphone to you. Up next, we have Seward High School. If you could introduce yourselves, and then we'll get into the opening statement.
I'm Ava Stutzman.
I'm Carly Bach. I'm Beth Boslawski, head coach here for Seward. So opening statement, we got good group of seniors that I brought here. Whoa, echo. And then we have a good core returning. We're gonna have some height that we have to fill. We lost 4 seniors last year, kind of our dominant post players. They brought a lot of athleticism to our team. So we'll have to replace that, but exciting with the group that I have here and who we have out for basketball. So should be a fun year. We're done? No questions?
What are some short-term or long-term goals you have for this season? I'll start with long-term. I think we really want to host a district final this year and do our best to make it to state. So yeah.
Short term, I would say just basically find out our fundamentals and who we have to play with right now, and then go from there.
Yeah, they kind of hit the nail on the head here, but our goal is every day to improve 1% each day, get better. We got a young squad coming in, so we're going to take some growing pains just because we are a little inexperienced, but overall, hopefully, by game 2, game 3, we're better, and that inexperience eventually gets to be more experience, and it pays off in the long run to host a district final and eventually make it to Lincoln.
Can you describe the camaraderie on this team and how you're moving forward with this season, getting to bond together?
Yeah, these girls are great kids. We have our biggest number out. We have about 34 kids out, so very unique for girls basketball. But a lot of these girls play different sports in the fall. I think we had 4 kids not do a fall sport, so we preach multi-sport athletes at Seward, and but as far as ours, we're a big family. We all believe in one goal. We're all in it together. We believe in that we need to play for the person sitting next to us, for the person across from us. It doesn't matter the age, the level, but we're one big family, and that's just what we preach from day one. And these girls are our role models and our leaders, and they built that.
Yeah, and just working hard each day in practice and just setting those goals for our underclassmen is definitely how we're going to build the program.
I also think since all of us were involved in fall sports together, whether it was softball or volleyball, we're all just best friends. So I think that will really help us on the court this year as well.
For the seniors, you guys, this is your last, year of high school. What kind of legacy do you want to leave on your school?
Yeah, so I think just known for always playing hard and being great role models for the younger kids. I think the seniors before us left a legacy of leadership, and they're always taking in the younger girls, and they took in us when we were younger too. So just leaving that legacy as we leave as well.
Yeah, just to keep working hard and to go all out. That's it's our last year, and that's all I really want to do, and to be a leader for those younger classmen. So.
I know that women's sports has been really big into the conversation in the sports field. So how do you guys feel being female athletes and having the privilege to play on a team?
I'm a big fan of women's sports. Women's basketball is one of my favorite things. So it's just really awesome being involved in women's sports. And then as it grows too, it's cool to see and be a part of.
And it's nice to see that everyone is giving them the recognition we deserve, I guess. It's not just about male sports, we can do the same thing, kind of.
I think it's a great honor to coach women's sports. I think they can learn a lot of valuable life lessons in it, and that's why we do sports. We do it for the life lessons. We do it to be with our friends. In the long run, sports is about 3% of your life, but what you learn from sports is what makes up that 97% of your life. So.
My major question for you is how difficult it is losing seniors after the season, seeing them go away and stuff.
Yeah, good question. But I think it's fun. It allows other girls to step up and to have a bigger role than they may have had in the past. And we're going to look to our seniors. They're going to have some bigger roles than they have in the past. But then we're also going to lean on some young kids to have a bigger role, just because then they're the future of our program. And if we can instill some big roles now, hopefully down the road, they can be those seniors that we lost when they're seniors.
I noticed that your shirts, they say TL.
Oh gosh.
Does that have any like significance to you and your team or anything?
So actually from today, we always thought it was team logo, but we learned today it actually
means trust and love. When we bought these originally, they didn't say that, and so we were all really confused, but figured that out today that it's actually
So why it
trust
says
and love.
trust and love, our AD is we're building our program or our high school athletics, every single sport around trust and love. So every athlete that participates in sports at Seward High gets one of these jackets. So they get to proudly represent Seward through the trust and love that we build in each program and for all high school athletics.
How important are the first few games of the season in establishing your identity for the rest of the season?
Oh, just the main thing is like all games matter, especially like when it comes down to district final matches and just conference seedings and everything. So every game we need to take very seriously. And so definitely these first couple of games too will kind of show like what the underclassmen, like their roles will be, what our roles will be coming into the season. So I think they're very important for our team.
And I also think that these first games are going to be ones that we have to focus on because we are a young team, and so it's going to be the games that we figure out what our identity is going to be and what we're going to stick with for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and I think the first few games we establish our expectations, we lay the platform down, and then from there we go up, and eventually, hopefully those ups, and we're going to have downs as well because basketball's a grind, it's a long, long season, but hopefully through those ups and those downs that we see at the beginning of the year can be fixed, and then be playing our best ball come February, March.
So you guys are rivals with York. How do you guys plan on preparing for those games mentally, physically, and just also integrating those other sports that you also play as well, but also just looking forward to enjoying the moment with it also being your senior year?
I think definitely coming up with York, we always have these hardest practices ever. We like to go about 7-on-5 during those first couple of practices with them. And so we definitely are very pressured, definitely kind of go like what their defense feels like, so it always helps. And I think going forward, just being this our senior season, I just want to take everything don't take anything for granted, like love my teammates as much as I can, love the sport as much as I can, and just embrace every moment I have.
Yeah, our games against York are definitely one of the most physical games that we have all season, and so that 7-on-5 that we do really prepares us for the pressure and tempo that we're going to be feeling in those games. So.
Yeah, they hit it, but in reality, it's just another game. Yeah, they're 35 miles from us, big rival, whatever, but at the end of the day, it's just another game. We want to just do the things that we can control, and that's playing hard, being a great teammate, and having a great attitude. If we can do those things, we firmly believe that we can beat anybody. We just got to put the ball in the hole to prove it.
Do you guys have any like fun pregame rituals or hype up songs that get you going for any match?
I'd say one pregame ritual that we have is like in the locker rooms before. Sometimes we'll turn the lights off and go in like if the locker room has a shower area, we'll go in there and turn the music up really loud and just dance with each other and be in the moment and get locked in for the game.
Yeah, pretty much what she said. It also always starts on the buses too. We always try to stay positive with each other, interact with each other before the game, just so we kind of feel like that team.
I do not. I just mentally get ready, I guess, and look over the game plan.
All right, thank you for your time and joining us today. Next up, we'll be joined by Norris High School. Good afternoon and welcome to the 3rd annual CoJMC Lincoln Area High Schools Basketball Media Days, sponsored by Pepsi Cola of Lincoln. I'm Emily Robinson. Thank you for joining us via our live stream on the Nebraska News Service YouTube page, and thank you to our veterans for serving on this Veterans Day. For those of you in the audience, please raise your hand if you have a question, and our mic runners will get the microphone to you. Up next, we have Norris High School. If you can introduce yourselves, and then we'll have an opening statement from the coach.
My name's Izzy Tidball. I am a senior this year.
My name's Kellen Stoffer, and I'm also a senior.
My name is Rosalind Matson, and I'm also a senior.
My name's Wally Johnson. I'm the head coach at Norris. We're coming off a 16-9 record season last year, I believe. Qualified for the state tournament, got beat first round by the eventual state champion Scott Catholic. We're returning a lot of experience this year. 5 seniors coming back. A team that grew a lot from the beginning to the end of the season last year. We graduated a big number of seniors the year previous, so we look to build and expand off what we accomplished last year, and we're setting our goals pretty high. So.
Something that really sets us apart is our team chemistry. I would beg to differ in Class B. Norris has the best team chemistry out there, and when you have really good team chemistry off the court, it kind of transfers onto the court.
We really like to compete, and like playing with everybody like so easy because we really like to compete.
I think what sets us apart from a lot of different other programs, excuse me, is that we're a Class B school from a lot of small communities with a school out in the middle of a cornfield. And we look like a small college campus. And then we have small town kind of values in the hallways at Norris, but we have big school expectations. And you can kind of see that with our fall success in volleyball state championship, football state qualifiers, cross-country state qualifiers, softball state qualifiers. So a lot of good momentum going on out at the district, and we look to continue that.
You guys returned 89% of your scoring from a season ago, and falling in the first round last year to Scott Catholic as an 8th seed, and was an up-and-down year, especially towards the end of the season with losing to Pius on a buzzer beater in the sub-district and then winning the district final. But now you return 89% of the scoring. What are the expectations for you guys this season?
Expectations are to play the way we play. Every team is a great team, and if you overlook one team, that's how we get beat.
I'd also say just not taking anything for granted. You just got to take it one game at a time, one practice at a time, and just give it your all each day.
I would say the makeup of our team is we have a lot of different ways that we can defend and a lot of different ways that we can score. We have a nice combination of guards that can attack the basket, finish at the rim, and shoot the three. And then we have some size and strength inside that can really dominate in the post. So I think there's a lot of different ways that we can play the game, both defensively and offensively, that teams are going to have to prepare for.
Are you still going to play Sandman before the games next year?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Coach, we're very safe when we do it.
Okay. Yeah. I trust you 100%.
Great team bonding moment. For sure.
So you guys have like a younger team of those graduating seniors. How are you planning on filling those leadership roles?
So last year we graduated one senior. So this year, I think Norris's role will be how we can see how our underclassmen right now are going to contribute. We have 24 players total, most of those being freshmen, and I think it's really important that we make sure that they feel included in everything because we don't know what their roles are. So making sure that everyone's included this year is very valuable.
With such a large senior class with 5 people, we all just can work together and show the underclassmen, like by actions or words, just support them in any way we can.
100.
Looking forward to for this season?
I would say definitely Bennington. Last season we competed with them and it was very intense, and those are the type of games Norris likes to play. Like, we like to get after it and compete, so I would definitely say Bennington.
Go ahead.
I'm definitely looking forward to playing at Papio South at Creighton. I think that's just going to be a great experience, especially to get ready for PBA.
I would also say Waverly, like, they're always a rival in our first game. It's just like to showcase like our practices, how we've gone. So definitely will be a good game.
I would include Pius in there after that buzzer beater heartbreaker. But I don't know. I think we try to challenge these kids with what I think is the hardest schedule in Class B, and essentially at the end of the season we're battle tested through all the competition that we play. The EMC I think is probably the toughest conference in the state as well, and so that's not going to do anything but get us ready for the postseason. So looking forward to all of them.
Marley, you're a 2-year varsity player on Norris, now entering your junior season. Talk about the supporting cast around you, the other teammates and Coach Johnson, to lead to your improvement as a basketball player.
Yeah, I would definitely say my teammates put a lot of trust in me, and that has definitely built my confidence, and knowing I have great coaches that they have my back, and whenever I'm struggling or just confused about something, I feel very comfortable going with them and talking about it. Definitely scary my first 2 years, but I feel like I'm becoming more confident in myself to able to provide for my team.
I mean, you four as seniors have been with Coach Johnson for his first 4 years here at Norris. I mean, what has he taught you as a coach, and what makes him so special?
I think practices, I mean, obviously I don't know how it was with Hagerman before, but practices are definitely pretty intense sometimes. Like, you got to give it your all, otherwise, like, you're going to get punished for that, or, like, maybe have to run to kind of get us awake. But, yeah, I think he definitely keeps practices intense, and that's something, like, we're trying to make them even more intense this year.
Yeah, and just like competing and pushing each other. Even he always says that you might have friends on the team, but that's when you should push them the most.
I'm not sure what entails punishment, but we play a style that we like to play fast, transition basketball offensively, and then pressure defense and throw a lot of things at teams. So that requires us to play and practice at that same level or higher, so that when we get ready for games or play games, we're ready to compete at that same level, if not higher. So we do push them in practice. Our goal this year is to make practices a little bit shorter but more intense, so that we have focused effort throughout and, you know, just an energized gym. So we'll keep pushing for that.
What is a goal you guys hope to achieve this year?
Have a gold medal around our neck.
Definitely become closer with one another and just keep pushing every day, but definitely to make some history and not to leave without any regrets, just to go at it all the time and just be happy with whatever happened.
Yeah, I just really want to compete and push my teammates to be better people too.
Continue developing these relationships with my players and my assistant coaches, and putting a product on the floor that we can all be proud of, and hopefully on a Saturday in March, early March, we're all celebrating and celebrating that gold medal.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for your time today and for joining us. Next up, we'll be joined by Lincoln Lutheran High School. Good afternoon and welcome to the third annual CoJMC Lincoln Area High Schools Basketball Media Days, sponsored by Pepsi Cola of Lincoln. I'm Emily Robinson. Thank you for joining us via our live stream on the Nebraska News Service YouTube page, and thank you to our veterans for serving on this Veterans Day. For those of you in the audience, please raise your hand if you have a question, and our mic runners will get the microphone to you. Up next, we have Lincoln Lutheran High School. If you can introduce yourselves, and then we'll get into the coach's opening statement.
My name's Hadley Reimers, and I'm a senior.
My name's Tessa Wilson, and I'm a junior.
I'm Lily Logmuth. I'm a senior.
Andrew Broders, head coach going into my third season. I just want to say thank you to UNL and the College of Journalism for putting this on. It's a great experience for me and the girls to come and represent Lincoln Lutheran, so can't thank you all so much for being a tremendous guest for us.
Team chemistry to the players and coaches?
I think it's really important that we all are good teammates to each other and that we get along well and that our culture is good, because what our culture is what's reflected in how we play. And so I think it's really important that we work on our chemistry on and off the court so that our play reflects how our chemistry is.
Yeah, as a coach, going into my third year, I'm really happy with how our culture is. These girls have a lot of fun during practice, during games, going through, the wins, the losses. They do a great job of coming with a positive attitude, and can't ask much more, from my athletes than that.
What excites you most going into this next season?
I think just all of the new people. We have a lot of new freshmen. I think our team is new, so I think just playing with them and getting our chemistry built from the beginning.
Yeah, I would say we have a stronger foundation this year. We've built that up over the past couple of years, so I'm just excited to see what we can do this season.
Being healthy, I think, is what I'm excited for. We had a couple major injuries last year, which didn't help us at all. So coming into the season healthy from the start, and hopefully we can stay healthy throughout the entire year.
Is there like a team motto or like a message that you guys rally around over the season, especially being like a religious school? Like, is there a specific verse or something that you guys like stand by?
So the captains and the seniors this year, myself and Lily, came up with a theme that we want to reflect throughout our team this year, and it's faith. We want to embody what it means through the trials, practice, games, whatever our team is doing, we really want to remember why we're playing, and that is to give the glory to God. So reflect Him in our actions and our words and our practices, the trials, the triumphs, everything that we go through this season.
Kind of playing off of that, your guys' winter season is really, really long. How do you guys keep motivated and focused through that season, even after coming off of a hard loss or going into a game that's really, really challenging? How do you keep your guys' motivation up and still wanting to play and put your all on the court?
I think we keep having fun at the center, whether it's in a drill we do in practice or when Brothers cooks us chili. I think we just keep having fun at the center of what we do.
We just take every game as its new trial. We don't mourn on the loss that we just had or the win that we just had. We think about what's coming next and what we can do to get better.
What role do leadership and accountability play in your team's success?
Yeah, it has a lot to do with it. I have two great seniors up here with Lily and Hadley who are going to be our team captains for this year. But I think we have a lot of different leaders on our team that don't have to have the title of captain. I think Tessa and then Kenzie and Atlee, who are both here with us today, can be leaders for our team because they've played a lot of basketball. They're coming off of last year, so they know what we're expecting as a team from what we're doing offensively, defensively, but also off the court, how we are expected to handle ourselves when we travel and all those things. So I have a great group of girls that are coming back, and I'm excited for them to continue to build on the culture that we've already established.
Coming off of your guys' record from last season specifically, Coach, what is something that you really, really want to take into this next season and push for your girls having a younger program?
Yeah, like I said, we had a lot of injuries last year that didn't help us at all. But we have our core main group back, and then we had 2 freshmen, Jayla Green and Natalie Hoffman, who are going to help us a ton. So I feel like we have 8-9 girls that are going to play a lot of varsity for us. So I'm excited to have like our core group back and add 2 talented freshmen, which are going to help us a lot. So I expect a really big jump from last year. Like I said, hopefully we can stay healthy. It has a lot to do with it, obviously, and that's not just for us. That goes for about any program. Over the summer, I thought we played really well. We're going to play a little differently than we have in the past just because we have better depth. The last couple of years, we've only had probably like 6-7 of rotational players. Like I said, this year we can have 8-9. And so I think with that depth, it's going to allow us to, play a lot faster, pressure the ball a lot more, which we weren't able to do the last couple of years. You're laughing because it's yeah. I should have done this.
As the season comes to a start, what do you guys really want to focus on during practice?
Yeah, that's something I talked about over the summer with the girls. So at the very end of the summer, I had like a one-on-one with basically all of the main varsity girls. And something we talked about a lot was how do we make our practices better this coming season of, one, having fun still, but, being able to lock in and have those moments where we need to really focus and really crank it up and kind of take that next level. I think will be super, super important. It's, I'm blessed. We come from at Lincoln Lutheran, we have a lot of success across multiple programs. Atlee, she's coming off a medalist as a freshman at state track. Kenzie and Lily, they're both starters for our volleyball team. Jayla, who I talked about earlier, she was just a freshman. She was a starter on the volleyball team also. So we have a lot of experience, have a lot of success, and so they know what like an elite practice should look like. We just need to transfer that into basketball.
What is like the primary style of play that fans should expect to see from you guys this season?
Yeah, we're going to play a lot faster. We have some really good athletes like Allie. She was a medalist in state track, state volleyball medalist. Tessa's going to be our main point guard. Probably one of her biggest strengths is getting the ball up the floor really quickly. She's able to, advance the ball up the sideline, or she can make that skip pass, that diagonal pass full length to the floor. So just using our athleticism offensively to get out in transition, and then defensively really get up and guard people full court, I think will be a big strength for us. A couple other key players I think it's going to fit really well is Claire Hawley and Avery Louie. They're both really, really good athletes, so I think it kind of fits into their strengths. And so I think when we kind of put all that together, I think we could throw, like I said, 8-9 girls at people really consistently and keep fresh on our end and possibly wear some people down, get some turnovers, and get some easy layups, hopefully.
Besides from faith, which is the motto that you guys kind of talked about holding yourself to, what's one word that each of you guys want to really, really focus on going into practices and games and post games?
I would say resilience. Last year didn't go well for me. I didn't play as much as I would have liked to due to injury. But I just feel like this year I can go through each game knowing that I am better than I was last year and that I can do what I can do.
Yeah, I would say culture. I think Coach Broders does a really good job of balancing like our fun aspect of the game also with our competitiveness. And I think the more that you build on culture, like you just get better as a team, like inevitably, like it just happens. So I would say culture.
I would say focus, just because we need to remain focused. Even like when things aren't going our way, we need to remain focused and know that like we're going to continue to get better, and that's what we need to focus on.
Yeah, for me, I really want to go out and compete. I think that's a big thing. I want to compete every day in practice, and I want to go out and I want to be competitive in games. I think we can be a team if we really want to be a team that no one else wants to play come February. And I talk about that, every year is it doesn't matter how well you're playing in December. it matters how well you're playing in February. And so I want to compete and practice every single day, but then when we get to February, we're going to be a tough out. And, you know, if it's going to be whatever these girls want it to be. If they want to come in and compete every day and practice, they're going to get better. And when we get to February, we're going to be playing better. If they, you know, come in and they just want to go 50-50, well, then when we get to February, it's just going to be, you know, similar to the last couple of years.
Looking forward to this season?
I would say Omaha Concordia. I think a lot of we played them 3 times last year, lost all 3 times, and I think every time we came out of that game, like, that shouldn't have been a loss. Like, there were things that led up to our loss that, like, should not have happened. So I would say that. I think it's like Coach Broder said, like, focusing in practice, like, just pushing ourselves each day to get better. So
I would probably say Lincoln Christian. They're a tough competition, but I'm excited to show them what we got this year.
Yeah, I'd also say Lincoln Christian, just because last year the game didn't go as well. So this year, hoping to focus back in, like, practice our plays, like, know what we need to do, and be locked in for that game.
Yeah, for me, it's our preseason game against Waverly. So before I was here, I coached at Waverly on the boys' side, but, you know, obviously I know a ton of people at Waverly. The head girls coach is a great friend of mine, so we get to play back there this year for our Jamboree game, so it's always fun to kind of go back to where it all started a little bit for me. So cool environment, and I'm still good friends with, you know, a ton of people there.
All right, thank you so much for your time and for joining us. Next up, we have Waverly High School. Good afternoon and welcome to the 3rd annual CoJMC Lincoln Area High Schools Basketball Media Days, sponsored by Pepsi Cola of Lincoln. I'm Emily Robinson. Thank you for joining us via our live stream on the Nebraska News Service YouTube page, and thank you to our veterans for serving on this Veterans Day. For those of you in the audience, please raise your hand if you have a question, and our mic runners will get the microphone to you. Up next, we have Waverly High School. If you can introduce yourselves, then we'll get started on the coach's opening statement.
Okay, I'm Coach John Cockrell.
I'm Tessa Cockrell. I'm Kenna Cotman.
And I'm Mia Jackson.
And I guess opening statement-wise, I would just say I know everybody's going to talk about, you know, the last few years and losing some really great players, but we got a lot of great players that are coming through the system right now, and we're going to change a few things, be a little faster, get up and down the floor a little more, but it's going to be an exciting year. We play in a tough conference. The goals will not change. We won the conference last 2 years. We're regular season-wise. We'd like to do a little better in the tournament and try to get back to state for the 5th year in a row. So nothing as far as we see it change. It's just time to hit practice next week and see where we can get.
Going to state for 4 years straight, how do you believe that helps you compared to some of the other teams that don't make it to state and having that extra like game experience in the big stage?
Yeah, I think it started quite a few years ago with a few of our girls that decided to bring all of our young girls into the system and make sure that every freshman felt welcome. And it really changed the way we thought about the whole system. And eventually what happened is we just started winning more. And I think the work ethic starts when the kids are young. They see these older girls working hard. And so what it does is it leads us into believing that no matter what we do when we step on the floor, we're going to compete. And when we compete, good things happen. So I think these girls have a lot of confidence. Sure, there's questions out there about us, but they'll be answered soon enough.
What is one new strategy or something you guys worked on that would be new to your system this year that maybe is going to pay dividends off later?
We lost a lot of posts last year. Like, we had a bunch of bigs. This year we have a bunch of guards. So I think just learning how to play with more guards than we do have posts now.
Yeah, I think our offense, like, overall is definitely going to be more aggressive. Our defense is going to be key on it. We're going to definitely pressure a lot of teams. Our offense is going to be more of like a 5-out. So I think a lot will be different this year.
Yeah, and I would say playing with a lot more speed and intensity this year.
Yeah, without a doubt. They're hitting it on the head. We're going to open up the offense a little bit and see what these girls can do. We got a lot of speed and athleticism. We got a lot of very average height. Maybe you could say we don't have the post and methodical play inside, but I do believe that getting to the rim is post play, so we can definitely get to the rim.
How important is the community to you guys as players?
I think our community is really good. Like, we always have a bunch of fans. Like, they always hype us up for the games.
Yeah, I think community is big. Waverly's not a very big town, so we always, like, the entire town always rallies behind us. Our game always has a really good turnout. Our student body is also, like, really important. We usually have a pretty good student section that comes out, so I think it's just really important. It really brings, like, excitement to our games.
And when you're walking around in the schools and outside the schools and stuff, everyone's asking how the games have gone and, like, wishing you good luck.
Yeah, and we have a lot of young ladies in our Vicoops program that get to come and watch. They get to sit behind the bench and be part of the locker room a few times a year, and I think that just helps the culture overall. They get to get in there and have some fun before we take the floor, and then afterwards, win or lose, they still get to come in and enjoy the excitement. So I think that just builds throughout the community the whole time.
This question is for Mia. You played 19 games last season, which was the most as a sophomore. How does that look with getting your confidence up and preparing for this season?
I think this year I'm definitely going to be more of, like, a bigger role, so I think it just builds up my confidence knowing that, like, my team trusts me, all my players trust me, my coaches trust me, and, like, what I can do, my ability on the court.
This one's for the two seniors. Obviously, losing 4 seniors last year, how do you two step up into that role that's gone now?
I think they were really big leaders, and I feel like we can step in that position to lead the team and, like, kind of bring the intensity to practice, like, kind of build everybody else's confidence up too, and know that they, like, can play along with everybody else. And
Yeah, and just push everyone to do their best, and yeah.
This one's also for the seniors. Since it is like y'all's last year with the team, what are y'all looking forward to the most for your senior season?
I'm looking forward just, like, building more connection with the team. And, like, I mean, every game we had last year was super fun. We bring in the younger kids to do the balls, signing balls after games, just kind of, like, enjoying every moment.
Yeah, I'm excited for before the games too, like in the locker room. We always have a lot of fun. We're always super hyped with music and stuff. And
What are your guys' expectations for the season opener against Norris?
I can take that. I think, that's a rival game. Obviously, North's extremely talented, bringing a lot of players back. We're bringing a lot of talent in. It's going to be at our place, so it'll be a packed house. The boys' programs are going to be, it's going to be a lot of people there. So expectations are two teams that are going to be, 2.5 weeks into practice, and they're going to play hard. Neither of us know exactly what's going to happen, but it's going to be two top 10 teams going at it.
I know you all have spoken quite a bit on how at home, like, the community is such a big part of your game and everything. How do you think that'll affect you when you go to other schools as well?
I think we all are really good at just knowing it's game, like not letting everybody else get in our heads, just kind of focusing on what we need to get done.
Like Tessa said, we jam out and before games. So I think even though we won't have as big of crowd with the community, we make sure to bring our own energy and always be pumped up in the locker room.
Plan to prepare to play against the top teams in the state, given that you're ranked 13th?
Yeah, we're ranked 13th. That's okay. That's good. Hey, like to be there.
All right.
So, preparing for us is the same as always is every year. We know we play in a conference that's incredibly tough, day in and day out. You can't take a game off. So, for us, it's just we're going to go get ready. We're going to do what we do, and we can't control what they do, but we are going to take control of what we can defensively and get better on offense and trust each other. And from there, I feel like we're actually going to be higher than that when it's all said and done.
Who are you guys excited to play this season?
Personally, I'm most excited for Gretna East. We did lose to them both times last year. I think that's just a good game that we could come back from and just be aggressive towards them and try to get a win.
I think personally for me, I think the Bennington game will be one of our biggest games this year. They're a really good team. They're really strong. They didn't lose very many players, and I think that will be one of our toughest games. And so I'm most excited for that one. We beat them for a long time. There's a streak going for that, and I'm really not trying to lose that.
I'm definitely most excited for the Norris game. It's always a big game, and really just want to start the season with a win.
Yeah, it's the conference teams, but mainly just because all the coaches are good friends of mine, and I just like to have a good talk before we go and compete and see who wins.
Earlier, John talked a lot about being adaptable throughout different games. How does that affect you guys when you play, and do you feel like that helps you when you have to come against different play styles?
We do watch a lot of film to prepare ourselves for different teams. And I feel like each of our players know what their responsibility is to do on the court and kind of just know each other, know the players.
I think there's just trust involved too. All of us are willing to step into different roles, do different positions. Everyone's capable of doing every position, so I think it's just trust.
Yeah, and like Kenneth said with the film, we all change our mindset to play how we're supposed to play that game.
Yeah, we do. They are adaptable. I mean, they understand what we're doing. We watch the film. I trust them to do the game plan we're asking, and if we got to switch it after the first quarter, then we switch it. And the kids are smart, and they work hard, and they work together, and they figure it out. So, yeah, it's great to have smart players like this that work hard, and they're able to adjust on the fly.
What has been the biggest challenge so far for this upcoming season, and how is the team responding to it?
Biggest challenge for me is wait until next Monday. So we had to wait a while. It's been fun to watch fall sports, but Waverly's still got a couple of games of football to get to. But they had a great fall. All the sports do. For me, it's just waiting to go. Challenge-wise, these girls will meet the challenge when it's asked of them. So for me, that's where I'm at. How about you guys?
I can take it. For me, I think just our biggest challenge will be the nuance of the whole thing, because there's a bunch of players that are going to be in different roles, especially. So I think just being able to come together and being acceptable in that role will be a challenge for people.
We'll take one final question.
I know y'all said y'all start 2 days next week, so obviously those are hard on like your body and mentally. So how do you guys come together as a team to just try and like push through those and keep good energy throughout those long, hard days?
During practice, we always have music going, so I feel like that's always like a way to start practice off. A lot of times after 2 days, we go out to eat. As like your friends will go all out to eat to like a different restaurant. Kind of just like motivating during practice, like trying to make sure like if somebody's having a rough day, like, hey, like you're okay, like we're all going through it.
I also think that there's a lot of us that love this sport, and so like we're willing to get up every morning, every day after school, like go to practice, and we're gonna bring that energy. Like we're excited for this year.
Yeah, and like we're all getting up together, like we're all ready to go to practice together and play as a team.
Yeah, they definitely check in on each other and make sure they're going. I'm checking in on them. The coaches are checking in on them. We don't want to wear them out. I mean, this isn't not 1970. We're not just running for an hour and a half, you know. So a lot of mental work in the mornings, and then a little more getting up in the afternoons to take care of their bodies. But luckily, we got a great strength coach. He'll be working with them during the week, and it'll go smooth.
Thank you so much for your time and for joining us today. Next up, we have Lincoln Pius X High School. Good afternoon and welcome to the 3rd annual CoJMC Lincoln Area High Schools Basketball Media Days, sponsored by Pepsi Cola of Lincoln. I'm Emily Robinson. Thank you for joining us via our live stream on the Nebraska News Service YouTube page, and thank you to our veterans for serving on this Veterans Day. For those of you in the audience, please raise your hand if you have a question, and our mic runners will get the microphone to you. Up next, we have Lincoln Pius X High School. If you can introduce yourselves, and then the coach will give an opening statement.
I'm Kate Miller. I'm a senior.
I'm Kendall Hymas, and I'm a junior.
I'm Ava Markowski, and I'm a senior.
I'm Coach Ryan Pasota. First of all, I just want to thank UNL for having us. I think this is a really beneficial thing for our kids to be able to go through this kind of experience preseason so they know what to expect when media opportunities come up throughout the year. So thank you. We're coming off a 22-5 season last year, trip to the state tournament. Ended earlier than we wanted to. Lost some really good, impactful seniors that are all playing in college now. But we've got a really great group of nucleus of multi-sport athletes here this year. And we're hoping to get back to PBA and kind of have a repeat of last year, except with a better ending.
What are your guys' goals for this upcoming season?
Yeah, I'd definitely say one of our goals is to make it to the state tournament again like we did last year, but making a run in the state tournament and hopefully cutting down those nets at the end of the year.
For me, again, same thing. Get back to the state tournament, have a successful year, and have a chance to play on Saturday of the state tournament would be a good goal for this group. Like I've said all day, one of the big goals for this group is just to have fun, cherish the moment, live in the moment, because for these seniors, it's their last ride with us. And so we want to send them out with a good experience.
You went 51-1 through 2019 to 2021. What does it take for a team to do that, and what aspects do you see in this team?
You have to have Alexis Morkowski, to be quite honest. No. Obviously, she's a big part of what we did, but we had really good players around her. We had one of the best point guards that I've ever seen play with alongside her. Kate's sister was a really big integral part of what we did defensively, and so you just have a good group, and hopefully you don't have that just once in a lifetime, but it truly was a once in a lifetime group to be able to coach. And a lot of the stuff that they brought to Pius basketball still remains today through our traditions and our culture, and just the way we like to play still permeates from those groups. So, yeah, good times.
Is there a drill in practice that you really enjoy and like gets you really excited?
My favorite drills would probably just be playing, like 5-on-5-on-5. Love playing with my teammates, and yeah.
I would say like any drill where you just get the opportunity to compete. In practice we really get after it. And then after practice we kind of just know like whatever happened during practice, we're still sisters. And so, just being able to let that go. But yeah, competing is definitely the best.
I would say defensive slides and corner pivots, just because we all get to go through those like trials together and then be like, that was really hard, but we did it as a team.
You mentioned in the opening statement that you've lost some seniors. How difficult it is for players to step up into that role and take on that role, and seeing your seniors leave and new people come in?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to have really good seniors that leave a mark, and we did. And so we've got kids that are playing all over the country now in college this year. These guys are all going to have new roles this year. I mean, Ava's now going to see the best defender that the other team has. Kendall's probably going to see the second best defender that the other team has. Other kids are going to have the ball in their hands more majority of the time. And so, every year is different. Every team has different roles on it, and we're going to find out between now and February, what those roles are and how well they can take care of their challenge on each role.
Hey team, how's it going? So you guys have a lot of travel coming up. Like you mentioned, you're going to Kansas City, Iowa. I know we all just kind of talked about that. How do you not get fatigued throughout all of this travel and kind of keep that momentum going to reach that end goal at the end of the year?
I would say we just have a lot of fun with our travel. It's not ideal having to go a bunch of different places in the Midwest. So, we'd like to have more home games, but I think we just embrace it, and, we know we have to do it, and so we just have a lot of fun with it. Yeah.
I'd say, like, in there, we represent Nebraska when we go places, so it's kind of like when we go places, how are we doing that? How are we representing? Are we there to just, fool around and, like, maybe win a game or two, or are we there, like, fully locked in and ready to win or try our best anyway?
For me, I think it's all about balance in practice. If you're coming off a long road trip on a Thursday night and you're getting back late, you've got to do some things different on a Friday for practice to kind of, get some stretching in, get the kinks out before you get back after it. But, with these long road trips, there's going to have to be a lot of balance, but they know coming back, we're not just going to give them the day off. Every day is an opportunity for them to get better. You only have so many chances to get better in a season, and so you got to have some balance in what you're doing. I don't want to kill them every day.
I'd say we all embrace it. We are all very positive people, and no one ever complains, even if that means bringing our schoolwork on the buses and not messing around and having to take the time to actually study so we don't have to miss school the next day.
How do you guys deal with freshmen coming in, and how do you guys kind of take them under your wing and make them feel comfortable playing with you guys?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say when I came in as a freshman, I was super nervous and looking up to the older seniors. So now I'm in that role, and hopefully the younger classmen look up to me and know that it is okay to make a mistake and have that next play mentality.
Yeah, this is my first year as an upperclassman, but I think we definitely take the freshmen under our wings and just kind of help them, learn like how we do it and why we do it that way, and just kind of bring them into our culture.
We also do Big Littles, which is basically you just get a random freshman and you kind of like talk to them and just know how they are as a person, and sometimes that really helps people bond and show like their true self. So, yeah.
We're very fortunate to have large numbers of freshmen usually every year, and so you have to, again, another keyword, balance. You have to balance pushing them versus letting them kind of be freshmen. You want them to grow, but every freshman's going to grow at a different pace, especially offensively, defensively. They're going to play different levels for us between JV, freshmen. Occasionally you'll have a freshman that gets to be on varsity. And so, again, every freshman group is different, but freshmen are, quick learners, and you want to throw them right into the fire immediately.
What sets your team apart from like other teams?
I definitely say the culture and the way, like the level we compete at. I mean, no matter where we go, we always have that fire of working hard every single day and competing every single day to hopefully play that extra week in March.
I think it's the tradition. I mean, Pius is traditionally a powerhouse in most sports, especially where we're at. No matter if we're playing a Class A school or a Class C school, we've got a target on our back. Nobody wants to lose to Pius, and so you better embrace it. You're going to get everybody's best shot no matter where you go, but you also better represent Pius when you put that uniform on.
Going off of your statement about you guys having a target on your back, who are you most excited to play for or play against this season?
I'm most excited to play Scott because it's always like such a fun environment, and I know a few girls in that team too, and I know we'll play our hardest. And yeah.
I would say Norris, just because they were a really young group and they're all kind of bonding as a team now, and we had a pretty hard game against them last year, and then when Ava hit that half-court shot, it's just going to be a tough game for us for sure.
Yeah, I'd definitely say probably Scott or Norris. Scott obviously is the reigning champs, so hopefully knocking them out. And then Norris, it was a super fun environment last season, so hopefully doing that again.
Do you guys have a team motto or message that you rally around, especially being a parochial, religious school?
I don't think that we've come up with one yet. I usually let our seniors kind of dictate that as the season starts to begin. I don't think you can put a label on a team before it gets started. And so I think throughout the first few weeks of practice, get the kids together, we meet with them about goals, work ethic, aspirations, things like that. And I think you got to let that kind of develop organically instead of saying, this is our motto right up front.
Yeah, I'd say we definitely have a new team this year, losing 5 seniors. So us seniors will definitely talk about a new motto this season, and yeah.
What do you think is your most embarrassing basketball memory?
Probably one of the most embarrassing basketball moments is just airballing. I hate it. It's the worst.
Yeah, I mean, airballing, making mistakes are just embarrassing for me. but like, nothing sticks out.
Probably just missing a wide open layup.
Happens.
Yeah.
My most embarrassing moment? Probably losing to a team you know you should beat. That's always, you leave the floor and you're like, man, we let that one get away. So hopefully that doesn't happen very often.
All right, thank you so much for your time and for joining us today. That concludes day one of our third annual CoJMC Lincoln Area High Schools Basketball Media Days, sponsored by Pepsi Cola of Lincoln. Please join us again at 3:30 p.m. Central Time on Thursday as we welcome the boys basketball teams from Crete, Lincoln Christian, Lincoln Lutheran, Lincoln Pius, Norris, Seward, and Syracuse High Schools. Good night from Anderson Hall.